Have you ever heard about the sport of lawnmower racing? No? Neither had we, until our relations from New Zealand, who were staying with us at the beginning of August, told us that their son Ian was taking part in a race at Grimsbury College, Pulborough, West Sussex. Could they go and see him compete? It seemed too good an opportunity to miss. The race is run under the auspices of the British Lawnmower Racing Association, which was founded in 1973 at the Cricketers' Arms, Wisborough Green, by a group of amateur motorsports enthusiasts, lamenting the increasing cost of all forms of motorsport. In the first few years it organised 2 or 3 events per annum, but now it arranges about a dozen a year. Most take place in an afternoon, but annually there is a 12-hour overnight race. This was what was taking place at Pulborough. Lawnmowers are divided into 4 categories. Group 1 are those types that the driver walks, or more likely runs, behind. Group 2 are roller-driven with a seat towed behind. Group 3 are small 4-wheeled garden tractors, and Group 4 are baby agricultural tractors. This particular race started at 8 p.m. on Saturday the 3rd of August and finished at 8 a.m. on the Sunday morning. A total of 40 teams took part, including 3 entries from Luxembourg and 1 from Germany. Each squad normally consisted of 3 drivers, although many also had the luxury of several mechanics to keep their machine on the track. Because the race was to last for 12 hours, not surprisingly there were no Push-Me Group 1 entries, but there were 6 Group 2 machines, 19 Group 3 mowers and 15 Group 4 tractors. The event began at 12 noon, when the teams signed on and had their vehicles scrutineered. The general practice took place from 1 p.m. until 2, with the timed practice to determine start positions starting an hour later. Preparation for Ian's team, number 63, was not without incident, as co-driver Clive reports.
I hear you had a slight prang this afternoon, or Ian did.
Not a prang, but somewhere over there. Sort of quite a sort of severe breakdown.
Kevin's probably done a flywheel kick. Dino needs to get into the spurs.
We've replaced the part,
Yeah.
but whether or not it's going to last, we don't know. But it's a bit fundamental. It's a sort of cog under there.
Right.
It's disintegrated. And if it breaks again, I'm just going to have to sort of get the welder out and just weld it all up into a big lump. so it can't fall apart anymore. But we shall see.
Safety is an absolute priority. Indeed, the slogan of the association is that it is an amateur sport run in a professional way. And at 6:45 p.m, the drivers and marshals briefing took place. The race began promptly at 8 p.m. with a Le Mans-style start.
Best of luck, team.
Thank you. We need it.
The course extended for a distance of just over half a mile and consisted of 16 bends that included 4 hairpins. The track was marked out by straw bales, which had to be continuously repositioned by the marshals, as over-eager drivers took these bends a little too fast. Each marshal was also armed with flags to warn of any potential pile-ups. Walking up and down the paddock, we were amazed by the facilities that many teams had equipped themselves with. Each had their own tent. Most had electricity provided by portable generators, and a vast range of tools which included welding gear, lathes, power drills, benches and vices. To keep the interest of the spectators, a running commentary was provided, and we were constantly informed as to which team was in the lead and what disasters and overtaking manoeuvres were taking place out on the course. I never did quite work out how they managed to keep track of each vehicle, but at one stage we were delighted to hear that number 63 was leading its particular group. As it began to get dark, the only way they could see was by the headlights attached to their machines. Some of the pit crews were even dressed in coordinated team boiler suits. The event was also covered by Sky Sports, and a number of the crews were filmed and interviewed by their reporter.
Entertainment, really, is it?
It's mainstream Saturday night. It could give ITV's football programme a run for its money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Deadline and commentating, it will do well away.
All that, and then I'm on.
How was it then, Ian?
Very, very tiring. What time do we finish? 8 o'clock. Depends who's awake or not. The end of the morning, because your adrenaline's flowing again, and it's over, and the sun comes up, and
The course was gently undulating, making it more interesting for the drivers, and was only illuminated in the start-finish straight.
The third man, right. Hi.
cleaning up.
Best of luck. Is that a scientific dip with your finger?
The enthusiasm of both spectators, crew and drivers was very intoxicating.
That was such a laugh.
I missed all of that. I was over there somewhere. So.
Oh, there were bales going everywhere. I kept hitting the. I pushed one bale along about 12 feet or 15 feet. Get out of the way! It was absolutely brilliant. It was just going like a train. But enough, make you sweaty.
Yeah, no, I came back dripping. That's why I brought the hat to cover up all the drips.
Yeah, what's up to your head?
You lost all your hair.
Oh, God. Yeah, I have lost all my hair, thanks. What's he doing?
How are you feeling now then?
I feel quite elated. It's going so well. It's going better than it's ever been, actually.
That exhaust, I reckon.
You were first in your group, weren't you?
So it appears to have been reported you are leading your group.
Yeah.
Well, I kept crashing into Chris Brown, who was on that mower. On my handlebars and his ribs. I'm sorry.
Only the most dedicated spectators stayed at trackside for the whole of the race. Through the night, the teams continued to race, with heavy rain making the conditions extremely muddy to say the least. The worst circumstances in 3 years. To keep going for half an hour before a colleague took over must have played havoc with backs and arms, especially in those machines which were very close to the ground, particularly when you knew that it was to be your turn again in an hour. And it wasn't just a matter of driving. With the worsening conditions, machines began to fail and had to be coaxed back to life again by determined pit crews. Mowers and drivers ended up caked in the mire, and the grassy track became so muddy that machines slipped and slid around continuously. Fortunately, there were no major mishaps.
Can you believe he's doing that? Can you believe any of us are even here? It's like hell.
You've got another lap to go.
And at 8 a.m. on the Sunday morning, the exhausted but elated crews took the checkered flag at the end of their marathon race. The results? Out of the 40 starters, 30 teams completed the 12-hour race. The overall winner was in the Group 3 class, a Lawnbug garden tractor, which completed 353 laps, averaged 29.4 laps per hour, and totalled 190.6 miles at an average speed of 15.9 miles per hour. And number 63? Well, the team was still completing after 12 hours, came second in their group after finishing 243 laps, and beat their main rival from previous years. The three drivers, Ian, Clive and the third man, Adrian, therefore completed 131.2 miles at an average speed of 10.9 miles per hour, and each received a small trophy for their efforts.
Very dirty machine.
One careful, owner. As good as new.
As the BLMRA is a non-profit making organisation, any money raised is always given to charity. This time, the college